Shred Shack Radio.
So now that it's 2020, we are in a reflective sort of mind, and we can focus on the good things instead of the bad things from 2019.
Exactly, like heavy metal.
There was so many good releases in 2019 that actually narrowing this down to our top 10s personally was very hard.
It really was hard to do, considering almost like every year, metal has gotten progressively better and better and better.
But just to give you kind of a glimpse of like what last year was like, here's a list of some things that are not going to be mentioned on our personal favorite lists. Allegiant, Avantasia, Baroness, Beelzebubs, Cattle Decapitation, The Damned Things, Demons and Wizards, Death Angel, Flesh God Apocalypse. This is the most surprising. Glory Hammer. Neither of us put Glory Hammer on this list.
No, we didn't, but they put out so much good stuff in 2019.
They really did. The fact that Hoots Force didn't make either of our lists is really amazing.
That shows how good 2019 was for metal.
It really was. And not just for metal, but for our specific tastes and our specific favorites.
Yes.
There was so much to pick from here. And I think that we should just get started because there's so much to get through. So before we get into our actual lists, as per usual, we will pick an honorable mention. Our favorite song from last year that was not a heavy metal song.
Yeah. Pat, you want to go first?
I will, actually, because this is not only like just scraping into the year. This was released in the first month of last year.
Oh, wow.
And when I was still working at the pop radio station, this was one of the only songs that I like completely loved from last year.
Giant, we'll be breaking boulders underneath our feet.
You know how like there's people who like should not be on the pop charts, but they show up every now and then?
Sure.
Like how like occasionally somebody will be like, oh, by the way, Ozzy Osbourne had a top 20 hit this year. And everyone's like, where the hell did this guy come from? Like, why?
Oh, yeah, this person gave Ozzy their career.
Yeah. Oh, my God, those friggin' comments.
Ugh.
But Rag and Bone Man, he did the theme song to Mass Effect 3, the Human song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I actually like, okay, that means I've heard of one song from this
Yeah.
person.
It's a lot of people have only heard one song from that person, but he was part of this song with Calvin Harris. His voice with the techno production from Calvin Harris should not mix very well, but it really sounds absolutely incredible. It's one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. You've been like very actively trying to get me into Planet Booty.
Okay. Quick story. Pat and I, we went to go see Ninja Sex Party.
Yes.
While we were standing outside in the rain trying to get, for the line to finally move, the opening act first went on, and it was Planet Booty. Neither one of us had no idea who the heck this was.
None.
And we get in there for like their last 2 or 3 songs, and I just felt the energy because it was so effing catchy.
Yeah.
And the song was just simply titled Naked. So for a little bit, I was like, all right, let me listen to them a little bit more. And then I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this group. I'm having a good time with it. And then I was like, you know what? They're coming to play in Brooklyn. Let me go see them. I had the damnedest fun time possible. Me at a pop show in Brooklyn going, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The Planet Booty, they are very positive LGBT group. They are very into being open about who you are and loving yourself. But the song Naughty is just so fun and catchy. It's about letting yourself just be yourself, have a good time, and don't let others, put you down. Enjoy the naughty bits.
Yeah. All of their songs are just like, we accept everything. And
Yes.
while we say that, here's our asses.
Pretty
really
much.
out there.
Like, they are extremely sex positive. All of their songs, except for like the slower, more jazzier versions. By the way, they are like a mixture of like punk, funk, and jazz. It is so awesome how good these guys are. And it's only three dudes.
Nice.
Like, a little bit of disco thrown in there, too.
Yeah.
So entertaining. They have an amazing stage show. They're very energetic. They're very catchy. They're very casual and close you can get to them. Like, after the shows, they'll stop and, like, hey, you know, they just want to meet everyone. They're very open, like, hey, give me a big hug. Their lead singer, Dylan, I believe his name is. When I got up to, you know, just get a picture with him, he just, like, spread his arms open wide. I'm like, dude, biggest bear hug possible. Let's go.
All right, let's actually start with the metal now.
Now what you are actually here to see.
There we go.
And listen to.
Before we start, as per usual, here's just kind of how this works. We only did one song per artist.
Yes.
We did not repeat artists on this. And the thing that we made very clear was that, like, you picked yours first so that I could pick around it.
Yes.
And even still doing that, like, I have no regrets about this list that I came up
Nope,
with.
not one bit.
The other thing is, if there comes a situation where one of us is talking about a song that came off an album and another person has another favorite from that same release, then we can hold up the black card.
What is this card again?
It's the card that says that I'm an ordained minister.
That's right. So if you ever want to get married by Pat from the Shred Shack, he can do it for you.
Get married like that, called Minister Pat. Anyway, on with the music. I'll go first so that you can wrap it up. And this is definitely at the bottom of the list for a reason. It's because as a song itself, I think the song is okay. There's just one section of it that just really puts it over the edge.
A shadow faster than the light, like cosmic fire, his presence is shining in the night.
Victorious came out of absolutely nowhere. Their album was pushed so heavily by everybody, and the album is called Space Ninjas from Hell, and it's exactly what it sounds like. All their songs are about, like, you know, robot and alien ninjas just, like, attacking each other. It's ridiculous, crazy crap in the same vein of, like, Glory Hammer. The song that they decided to introduce themselves to the world with was Supersonic Samurai.
Supersonic samurai, laser katana, high up to the sky.
The chorus of this song is unbelievably catchy. I love the singer. He doesn't, like, put too much, like, hamminess into it,
Yes.
but he still has enough power that he goes through everything.
He treats it very seriously,
Yeah.
even though he's talking about, like, laser katanas
Yeah.
and fighting ninjas in outer space.
The section with the solo, though, is one of my favorite things I've heard all year. The solo itself is crazy, ridiculous, like, how the hell is this guy playing this fast, like, power metal?
Yeah.
And then they get into, like, this bridge with dueling guitars that plays like the, you know, the traditional, like, it's got like the oriental influence to it.
Yeah.
And just the way that the melody comes out is so goddamn good. So, Victorious as a whole is fun, but Supersonic Samurai, just that one section.
Supersonic Samurai!
So dumb. So dumb.
Supersonic samurai.
Mine's a little bit more serious. Mark Morton with Cross Off with Chester Bennington.
Absolutely.
This one just had to make the list due to the fact that this was probably the last thing Chester ever did before he passed away.
I think it is the last thing he recorded, and what a way for him to go out.
What? Listening to it, I'm like, why was Chester never, like, go fully into like hardcore vocalist.
Yeah.
He was so good.
There were always some Linkin Park songs that never got popular.
Yes.
That were always the ones where he went nuts on
And those were
vocals.
always my favorite Linkin Park songs.
Me
They
too.
were always the hardcore ones.
Yeah.
Mark Morton did a great job with this song.
Absolutely.
The guitar work is beautiful. And then just Chester coming in and just destroying it. I was so sad that he left, but I'm glad he left us with this.
I was actually in the studio when he passed away, and I remember like everybody just coming out of the woodwork, like saying what an influence he was.
Yeah.
And it's more than I think people expected. Like when I would say this, when Chris Cornell died, everybody who you expected to label him as an influence came out and said that they were influenced by him.
Yes.
Chester Bennington meant a lot to a lot of people in our generation. And this, I think, if this is the last thing that we get from him, it's one of his best things that he's ever done.
What a shock.
Yeah, in a move that... All right, the next two will surprise nobody that
Nope.
they are on my list.
Nope.
It wouldn't be a year where Black Star Riders put out an album where I don't mention it in my favorites.
Correct.
Lifelong Thin Lizzy fan, huge fan of Black Star Riders. We talked to Damon Johnson. He's a really cool guy.
Yes.
That's our personal history with Black Star Riders. In terms of this material, the new album has its peaks and valleys, but the single they released, Ain't the End of the World, is one of my favorite like classic rock sounding songs ever.
If it ain't the end of the world, if it ain't the end of the world, it's the end of you and me.
Black Star Riders are clearly trying to like branch their own stuff away from Thin Lizzy, but there's always going to be that influence, and there's always going to be that overarching sound to it. And I'm glad, because this sounds like it should be like on a classic rock band's best of compilation.
It really should.
This song is so well done, and it's not just the production of the actual song, which I love the dueling guitars, and I love the mix of the different instruments. I think that the chorus is really great, and I also think that just the lyricism is really crazy. I love the line, "If it ain't the end of the world, it's the end of you and me." That's such like a old school like rock like breakup song.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a great song. I'm glad to see the Black Star Riders are still putting out music. And I'll be back to say pretty much the same thing when Night Flight Orchestra comes on my list.
It's the end of you and me. Ain't that right?
My number 9 is In Flames with Burn.
Feels good to like In Flames again.
It does! It is so good to like In Flames again! Burn, by itself, out of all the stuff they put out so far, it's my favorite. It has its moments where it brings you up, brings you back down, and then it just punches you right in the gut.
There you go. I like it because, like, here's the thing. In Flames is never going to sound like they did during Jester Race again.
Correct.
They're going to keep with this modern sound, but this proves that they can keep that different sound but still put out really, really good music.
Yeah, it's like... It's a little hard to explain. It's like the timeline of In Flames.
Yeah.
It's like they had the big ups, and then it's like they disappeared for a number of many, many years.
Anybody wants to like actually physically chart that out, we'll buy you a steak or something, because that's going to take some effort.
We don't have that much money.
We'll buy you an Applebee's steak.
There you go.
There you go.
definitely just the chorus alone. I love how it goes. Just the three, just burn, burn, burn. Just the different enunciations on each. It's the same word sung 3 different ways.
Yeah.
It just sounds so good. I love it.
I, the Mask.
Yeah.
I love the title track. This is only because I think Bjorn Street is on a never-ending quest to burn himself out creatively and physically before he turns 45.
Quite possible.
He, not only this year, put out an album with Soilwork, but also put out the single catchiest Night Flight Orchestra song that has ever existed.
Coming closer, I can feel your body heat. Pheromones say this love is incomplete.
So Night Flight Orchestra, obviously Bjorn Street, members of Arch Enemy, putting out music that should sound like it would be long in like 1985 and not 2020. But the big thing about this is, like, I've heard so many bands over my lifetime who are like rock revival bands, like Greta Van Fleet and like the Strokes and the Hives, and they're all just like, hey, this is how music used to sound, man. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's how music sounds now when you're trying to sound like that.
Yeah.
Night Flight Orchestra sounds so much like an 80s synth band that it is scary. The fact that this is a guy from Soilwork, that it's members of Arch Enemy, that it's people who are associated with really heavy, really good stuff, that they put out in the same exact year and still manage to go like, oh, and by the way, here's the song Satellite, with the single catchiest chorus that they have ever come up with. And just, I have seen live performances of the song, and they have like these amazing female backing singers who do the whole thing. I absolutely love this song so much. When I was going through my Spotify end of the year, like most things, this was the only one where I was not surprised. Was like, yeah, of course that's number one.
Yeah,
of course
that
this
makes
is number
sense.
one.
Thank you so much.
This one came out only a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Immediately, Pat was like, Reese, it's Reese, Brothers of Metal, new song.
That I did the same thing when I do. There's certain bands where, like, as soon as I see like a single for it, I'm just like, yo, here.
And I'm like, ooh, yay! You have no idea who Yorn is, it?
Well, this is Njord.
Yord.
Yeah. Nope.
Gotta see. Once again, Brothers of Metal continuing their amazingness that is Brothers of Metal, singing all about everything Vikings ever, which, is always a plus in my book.
There you go.
Comes out with one of the most catchiest riffs for a freaking chorus line. I love it. It's so good. Harmonizing between 3 different vocalists, which is, I think, always amazing when a band can do that. They continue to kill it on the guitars, on the riffs. They bring a very engaging, very energetic sound to them. And just the chorus line alone, just, Hell, Yard! Just pumps you up, just makes you want to go on a pillage.
I think like that's gonna be like a big like thing for like your lists or all the time, or just like, let's see, can I pillage to this?
Yes.
Yeah, looking at your list right
Yeah,
now.
my list, yes.
100%. That's a pillage list right there.
For those who wish to follow Reese's pillage list, follow me on Facebook.
To follow Reese's trail of destruction, follow him online.
I cannot wait to hear the rest of this album. It is coming out soon. By the way, just because I can't use the same frickin' band on the list, doing it again. The Mead Song.
The Mead Song came out last year, didn't it?
It came out in 2019.
Oh my god.
And nothing's better than the first lyrics of a song going, "This is a song about death, meat, and a goat."
This is one of those songs where, like, I saw the video for it and I was like, how the hell could I not include this song? I know nothing about Nano War of Steel. Apparently, they have been doing this for like 6-7 years.
Oh,
but
wow.
They're like kind of like a heavy metal parody band. They do songs mostly about like construction and building furniture and stuff like that.
Okay.
This whole song, if you watch the video for it, it'll kind of paint the picture a little bit clearer. Val Hallelujah is about a guy who is depressed around Christmas time because he wants to experience more Norse traditions instead of like the same old Christmas stuff happening. It's kind of a Christmas song. I love that. And the guy prays to his god for help, and he prays to Odin, who answers him back.
And gives him his his winter solstice.
And gives him the holiday that he so desires.
Hear my voice, this is Odin calling you. Times have changed, I'm a gentle god. No more war, just design of furniture. Master of IKEA.
First of all, Odin is played by Angus McFife from Glory Hound.
I know. It's so funny.
Secondly, at about halfway through the song, the tone completely changes.
Yeah.
And the song is no longer about how great Odin is and how great the Norse mythology is. It is about how amazing IKEA is.
Yeah.
The entire song, the entire rest of the song is just praising pieces of IKEA furniture.
Yep.
And the musicianship is unbelievable.
It's just bam. No, that made no sense to me.
The guitar work is incredible. The production is unbelievable. They go into this whole gospel thing.
Oh god, yeah, the gospel.
And the choir sounds incredible.
Yeah.
There was so much effort put into this.
There really was.
So dumb. Thank you, Nano
you.
War of Steel. I have no reason why this should be so well produced for such a dumb project. They traveled to Norway. They had drones doing amazing like videography for this.
You're just in awe of how dorky and stupid it was, and it was so amazing.
I'm blown away by how much effort, time, money, talent, pure talent was put into this dumb song. And I'm just so happy that it exists.
And cut here.
Okay, we'll cut there.
Because we got a show to do.
Yeah, we'll fix it up in post.
What the hell is post?
Just keep flailing.